joined with Mr. Alex Rodriguez and Victor Rivera. Today we are without Sammy. He's at a special function or something. I don't know. What is he doing again? I forgot.
Or
Kissing,
thing.
kissing ass to his bosses. That's what he's doing.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? You got to get ahead somehow. You know what I mean? So I've learned that I hate playing the political game, but politics has been working. It works. Politics does work if you know how to play it. So, but yeah, just want to say for everybody who came to my wedding, including you, A Rod. Um, Saturday was one of the craziest days of my life. If I had to say the wackiest, craziest thing I've seen was how drunk A Rod got, but uh, outside of that,
You can't bring that
um,
man anywhere.
oh man, I cannot. Yeah, my family was like, "Oh, your co-host guy, he's so funny." I was like, "Yeah, because he's fucked up. That's why." But no, it was a fun time. It's like it's a lot of fun, and at the same time, like it was annoying the amount of pictures I had to take. I now feel for celebrities a lot more. I can never be a celebrity because I don't like that much attention, and I don't like I don't like having to take pictures with everybody. So that was my weekend. Obviously, with sports and everything this weekend, I was very untapped. But I kind of I stayed on top of things as best as I could. But I'm gonna pass the floor to A Rod and just tell me about your time at the wedding first of all, and then a crazy wacky thing that you've experienced this weekend.
Listen, the wedding, it was a very beautiful wedding. I got teary-eyed when I saw you get teary-eyed. I'm not gonna lie. I was happy for both of you. It was a very, very beautiful wedding. There was one moment, I'm not gonna lie, there was one moment during the ceremony where there was like some people walking by and you were exchanging the vows and he stopped and made a face like, I was like, bro, for the love of God, please don't say anything. Don't ruin this shit, please. Just let it ride, man. Just let it ride.
I was on tunnel vision, like tunnel. I've never had that much tunnel vision in my life. Like I was so here, like I cannot. Whatever was going on around me, there could have been people naked across the street from me. I would have not have noticed because I was so just fixated right here and trying not to faint because my legs were shaking the whole time. It was not. That was not
Yeah.
a fun experience for
Well,
me.
you did a good job, man. You did a great job. I could see you like consoling Liz the whole time and getting her on board with everything. I know it was really emotional, but I that was the only moment I was really scared of the whole time. But it didn't happen. Everything was good. Man, I have not drank that much in a long time, and I personally think when I drink too much, I get really obnoxious and I really hate myself sometimes. And then it's like I keep drinking and drinking and drinking, and then I finally realize I need to leave because I'm gonna do something stupid. So I Irish goodbye you at your after party. So
It's
I
all right,
just
bro.
I had to leave. So the crazy wacky thing for me because there wasn't a lot of sports spectating either. Maybe the Jets winning finally, and my Irish goodbye at the end because I think I was talking to Berto. I was like, "Yo, we know where the bathroom's at," and I just left. I left right in front of him. But another cool thing is there was people I haven't seen since college, which was great to see as well. So it was
Yep.
nice to know them.
I like to bring like a little homecoming. You know what I mean?
It was nice. It was really nice.
Vic, talk to me, man. How you doing?
Hey, yeah. So, I guess the most exciting. I can't top those stories. I can't top getting hammered at a wedding or getting married. Um, but I will say that the best thing of this week did not come during the weekend. It came actually just a few hours ago, where AC Milan and PSV are still in European competition in soccer. So AC Milan going to the Europa League now after finishing third in their group, and then PSV going to the knockout stages of the Champions League with 3 Americans on their team. Actually, 4 if you count Ernie Stewart, who's the director of operations there. It's an unprecedented time in American soccer. So happy about that.
Can you please I need a therapist right now for Manchester
Yeah, it's
United.
tough going for you right now, huh?
Can you just tell me what I'm dealing with and how am I going to get out of this rut that I'm in as a Manchester United fan?
I mean,
They
you're
got
not.
they got to get rid of the head coach, man. Like he doesn't know how to put a lineup together. I feel like every time I watch it, there's guys that every time I look at the beat writer news for Manchester United, there's guys that are just not happy with him at all. And there's guys that are very serviceable that are way better than what they should be coming off the bench. It's almost like you know, when Ronaldo was playing for Inter Milan and they were benching him. Like it doesn't make sense. I'm not comparing the players at Manchester United, but you know, there's a lot of good players that should be playing and they're not. So I don't like the coach over there.
Yeah, and
And
I mean, like,
me, yeah.
no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just saying for me, it's more of they're in the same kind of spot that Chelsea is, who's also in the Premier League. They had all this money. Their American owner told them to go out and buy all the good players, and they bought them, and they just have too many. You know, as ridiculous as that sounds, you know, you can't put talent in the right spots. They have talented players. They don't have the right players.
Correct.
Players for the right spots. You know, even you know, some of their young guys, they got that guy Garnacho who's going to be insanely good. But yeah, I think it's just too many eggs in the basket there in Manchester. I think you and Chelsea just need to go through a whole rebuild.
Yeah,
And just like figure it out. Like obviously soccer's different, right? You don't go through the same type of rebuild. You don't rebuild through the draft, but they gotta figure something. They gotta fire the whole staff at this point. I don't know that Eric Ten Hag's necessarily a bad coach. I just think that same as Chelsea, just a terrible situation.
I just don't think he fits the mold there. And I forgot my crazy wacky thing is definitely why I'm wearing a Dodgers hat is Shohei Ohtani's contract with also the option to opt out if he wants, which is insane. So
we're gonna get there. Don't worry. We're gonna get to Ohtani. Don't worry.
I can't wait.
And then like so, I mean, for me, like getting ready for my wedding on Saturday, I'm watching this Manchester United versus Bournemouth game, and if you just look at the stats, right? We had 20 shots, 3 on goal, 69% of the possession, and like 660 passes, and they had 10 shots, 4 on goal. They're only 31% possession and 296 passes, and we lost 3-0. It's like I can't make sense of any of this shit that I'm watching from this team, but you know, I can't just hop on a bandwagon and go anywhere right now. I'm just kind of just stuck, man. So it's just
you can't look at it like that in soccer with the stats because it's tough. Like I'm a big stats guy, but soccer's like the one sport where it's like it's really that's how Greg Berhalter looks at games. Like how do they
70% possession? 70% possession.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing is they were probably getting killed on the counter, so they were probably inviting that pressure. So that way they can get out on the counter because that's what those bad teams do.
10 corners to 4. Like it's just everything's just I don't know. It's bad, bro. It's just bad.
I just think they don't want to play for him either. I honestly think they don't want to play for him because everything I see is them bitching about him. And right after they lost, even the announcers were saying, "Is this his last gig coaching here?" Like I think there's going to be a changing of the guard there. It's just who do you bring in?
Yeah, but I mean, like you think like American football coaches are bad? Like they're ruthless in Europe.
Yeah, I agree. But well, I'm just gonna accept my fate as it is and move on to some not much more happier things for me. The NFL. The NFL this weekend was a good, bad, and ugly for the three of us. The good, I got Zach Wilson as the good. A-Rod, I'm going to have you speak on that. The bad is the Pats draft pick because what the hell are we doing? And then the ugly is my Philadelphia Eagles. So let's start with you, A-Rod. The good, Mr. Zach Wilson and the New York Jets do a number on the Houston Texans. Now, talk to me, man. How are you feeling about everything?
I mean, catching the highlights of the game because I've kind of checked out, but he played a great game. I mean, he won player of the week, so you can't be mad at that. Offensive player of the week for the AFC.
Yeah.
One turnover. I mean, the fumble was a little bit horrendous. I'm used to that, but everything else was great, and the defense keeps them in games. But Zach Wilson's just you got to ride it out. I mean, I wanted the change, but the change didn't look any better. Like Tim Boyle definitely isn't it. Trevor Siemian doesn't look any better. And if they put in Brett, whatever his name is, like he ain't it.
So clearly, Zach Wilson is not the problem. Once again, I'm just saying. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I remember the guy said that Zach Wilson's not that bad, and I got fucking trashed for it.
Not by me.
Guys, he had one good. Listen, he had one good game. All right, or
He
like
had a few good games.
3 good games. All right, I'm not saying that he's completely the problem. There's a lot of problems here. There's a lot of problems with injury. There's a lot of problems with coaching. There's a lot of problems with the quarterback. This isn't what's supposed to happen. And I agree with what you said last week, KK, of how he kind of didn't expect to take the reins this year and was expecting to be studying under Aaron Rodgers, but was thrown to the wolves again. So I can look at it from a different angle at that and agree with you there. But in the long run, this isn't who I want as my quarterback. I've seen it. I've seen it, and it just doesn't work. If he can sit under pause Aaron Rodgers and learn and develop and not make stupid mistakes, then maybe I can give him that chance. But throwing him to the wolves and saying, you're all we got, and him going out there and playing a good game. I like the Texans. I think they're in a very weaker division. I think that division is like really up for grabs. Whoever wants to come up to show up. You saw what the Titans did. And I think anything is possible when it comes to that division and playing them. And I think the Jets, in my opinion, are underachieving because the defense is really good. I just think the offense is just looks good on paper, but they're not accomplishing much. So for him to come in and have a game like that, it's monumental, or not monumental, but it's very good way to trend for the Jets if you're hoping for a playoff push. I'm not, but it's good to see that. And if Aaron Rodgers comes back, I don't know. It's weird I keep talking about this team no matter what happens because it's my team. So
that's your team, man. You got to be there for him.
He did his thing. So I'm not mad at him.
Finally. All right. I like to hear the credit. Now, Vic, I pulled up Tankathon here just to kind of see where you guys are at still with the
it didn't move it.
Didn't move. So you guys go guys play Pittsburgh. You guys, I don't know how the hell you did it with Bailey Zappi, and you go out there and have a big victory, right? So were you one of the people who were like, because I see some Patriot fans all the time, and they were super mad and angry about this game. So were you, what side are you of the coin are you on with that?
I am on the side of I don't care. Like I knew it wasn't going to change our draft position, and the only thing that made me upset is I think that Carolina. What makes me upset is Carolina. That they have everything to play for, right?
Yeah.
They don't own their draft pick. So what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
Like start playing harder. Start winning. You guys fucking suck.
Yeah.
But that didn't. I can't blame the. I mean, what are these guys supposed to do? Go out there and lose on purpose?
I know exactly. It's
impossible. So I don't blame them for that. I blame Carolina for sucking more. But it poses a question. Is I obviously don't think that Bailey Zappi is the future, nor do I think Mac Jones is the future. If Bill Belichick stays as head coach, but would the Patriots think about drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. at 2 instead of taking Drake May? I think that Marvin Harrison Jr. has like the Calvin Johnson kind of effect as a wide receiver where he can dominate a game. We've seen this like Randy Moss, these guys that just come in and dominate games. AJ Green back in the day before he got Joe Burrow, where these wide receivers can elevate their quarterback. So do we take Marvin Harrison Jr. and then get the next best quarterback, whatever quarterback next year? Or do we, get Marvin Harrison Jr. at 2 and maybe trade back and get Jaden Daniels, who I actually like a lot at LSU? I think this is a very deep quarterback draft, and I would not mind, drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. and then, going after another quarterback in either the early second or maybe trading back up into the first.
I mean, do you have like a second, third, and like fourth favorite wide receiver? Because I think they got a couple kids from LSU, you got the kids from Washington, you got kids from FSU. So I mean, would you go quarterback early and then hope one of those other stud receivers kind of fall to you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've seen this before with the Patriots. They have drafted wide receivers early in the first 2 rounds before. They just always pick the wrong one, right? The N'Keal Harrys, the Tyquan Thorntons, those guys, like,
Yeah.
So,
and Marvin Harrison's like a can't miss, right? Like
a sure thing. I mean, I think he's as close as you can get to a sure thing in terms of a wide receiver prospect.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the big board here, and you got Rome Udinese.
Yeah, from Washington.
From
right?
Washington too.
Yeah.
But when was this done? December 8th. So look at the big board. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, like what Nabers or whatever his name is from LSU.
Malik Neighbors, yeah.
Yeah, he looks pretty solid.
Keon Coleman.
Pretty solid as well. So
yeah.
I mean, obviously, I know Marvin Harrison looks like they can't miss, but those look like. I mean, nowadays wide receivers are a lot more prepped and ready to go when it gets to the NFL because of all the 7-on-7 and everything like that. It's just this is one of those situations in which you can't go get X, Y, and Z because he ran a 4.2 40 and that's the only reason why you drafted him, or you can't go get a kid from Liberty because I don't know why. You know what I mean? It's just you got to go get what you feel that's a sure thing, but. Obviously it's nothing's been reported yet or proven yet, but the latest with Bill Belichick and everything from Tom Curran and his people. Tom Curran is somebody who seems to be pretty knowledgeable about Patriot things. You probably know better than me, but obviously there's that. The report is when they came back from Germany. No matter what, Bill Belichick is not coming back next year. Again, nothing has been confirmed. I don't know what's going on there, but what do you believe with that one?
I'll believe it when I see it. I just don't think there's any way that Bill Belichick, unless Bill Belichick can if he can fetch a first round pick, then you absolutely let him go and figure it out and try and find the next Mike McDaniel somewhere. Wes Welker is the wide receiver coach at Miami. So just saying.
Y'all should go poach Vrabel. That's what you need to do.
No, I'm done with the defensive coaches. This is a league where you cannot win defensively. You can't. You need to find yourself the next Sean McVay, the next Mike McDaniel. These guys that are just tuned to the offense. Now, if you go the other way and you can get the guy from Texas Tech. What was his name? The pretty boy.
From
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, Cliff. Yeah.
But we gotta find like an offensive coordinator that's killing it, and just
or go get Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams as the package deal. Boom.
That's where you end up with a Cliff Kingsbury.
True. Or you can end up with a Sean McVay, or you never know. I don't know, but and then just speaking of, before I talk about my shitty Eagles that you guys tried to talk up the last couple of weeks. The Washington Cardinals, Washington football team or Commanders or whatever they're called now, are in a 4-game losing streak, and right now they'd be picking 4th in the draft, and I think they're losing on purpose. I think they're actually tanking on purpose because Caleb Williams is from Washington D.C., and if they make that happen, I'm going to I'm gonna lose my shit. So you think Carolina's playing like shit? I need Washington, like the Giants, right? The Giants. I'm so happy that Tommy DeVito is winning football games. I don't have to worry about the Giants drafting 1, 2, or 3. But Washington, I need you guys to start losing because what the hell is going on? But really quickly, because I don't feel like talking all day about this bum ass Philadelphia Eagle team that I'm a supporter of. We lost the 2nd game in a row. Didn't look pretty. I stopped watching it midway through the 3rd quarter so I can watch some animated DC comics on HBO Max and watch some Batman because what the hell, AJ Brown, was getting locked up early on by Stephon Gilmore.
You should watch Bookie on there, bro. You'll love it.
Oh no, that's already on the top of my list of things to watch. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm definitely watching Bookie. The amount of sports gambling and betting that I do now, I gotta watch Bookie now. Vic, do you have a Bookie?
No, he's a Hard Rock.
Good, I was about to say because if you owe somebody some money, just let me know ahead of time. Cause I ain't trying to be in the crosshairs. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But no, the Cowboys are good. The 49ers are good, and we're okay. So we're all 10-3. We'll see what happens. I feel like we need to make some changes As far as like our play calling is very vanilla. I know exactly what plays we're gonna run every time we drop back. We were getting jealous of watching. Like I was even getting jealous watching the Cowboys play because I'm like, damn, man, they have so many exotic ways to get CeeDee Lamb the ball, and they know how to. We knew Tony Pollard wasn't going to be able to just run on us, but they find creative ways to get Tony Pollard the ball, and it's just, Jake Ferguson killed us again. It's like it looks so much better watching them play. It really just comes down to whether or not, Dak's going to shoot himself in the foot when the pressure's too high. But quite frankly, I'm hoping that we're just able to kind of win out, so we can at least win the division. I'm not really concerned about home field advantage. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. But we just got to start playing smarter football, so then that way I can cry again in February when we lose the Super Bowl to the Baltimore Ravens this time. So moving on, moving on. All right, so obviously we didn't watch a lot of football this weekend because of for different reasons, but a lot of injuries, a lot of nightmares and shit that happened this weekend. Justin Herbert is out for the season now. Keenan Allen is ruled out for Thursday. C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins got hurt. So a lot of shit. So I'm gonna run through a couple of these injuries and I just wanted to ask, what do you guys think about their outlook moving forward? And then if you have any fantasy advice for people, because it is the playoffs, have at it. So starting with Vic, we're going to start with Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. What's the outlook moving forward for not just this season, but for a while? Because obviously we've been calling for Brandon Staley's job, and I don't know what's happening there. So, what's your take on everything with the Chargers right
now? They're in the worst place to be, football purgatory, right? I really feel bad for their fans. It's like, this guy's Herbert's on the IR. That means he cannot come back until for 4 or 5 weeks.
4 weeks. Either way, there's only 4 weeks. Yeah, he's done for the season.
But I'm saying, like, aren't they still? They're still kind of in the playoff hunt, aren't they? What's right I mean, they were. Yeah. They were before they lost, right?
I think it's over.
They're 5-8 now. Yeah, it's over now. But I mean, at this point, just shut it down. Shut it down. Get the draft pick and try and get right next year, because it ain't happening right now. They have the 10th pick in the draft.
I mean, what do they need besides a new coach?
They're gonna need a running back, that's for sure, because Eckler ain't gonna be there.
Yeah.
His deal's only 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, yeah, they definitely need. Damn, it's like we could say they need a receiver, right? But they don't know how to draft receivers. Clearly,
they don't need a receiver. But they have one of the best in the league, Keenan Allen.
Yeah, but he's on the wrong side of 30, and he gets hurt every year now.
Yeah, but I mean, in my opinion, it's really the defense. That's the problem, and their offense is horrible.
Out of the secondary.
Yeah.
Secondary is good, but everything else is just like kind of sketch. All the big name
plays. Offense or defensively?
Defensively, it's all kind of.
Khalil Mack is leading the league in sacks.
I mean, outside of Khalil Mack, but Khalil Mack was leading the league in sacks because of one game where he got 6, which is unheard of.
He's still leading the league in sacks. So that was 10 weeks ago.
But Joey Bosa ain't looking like a number 2 pick. He's always getting hurt too.
Yeah.
So we can sit here and talk shit.
Is injury the problem?
Yeah, I think it's injury, but I also think I really think it's coaching. I think that they don't get good depth on that team. I don't think that they draft well on defense, because it seems like every year they draft the same type of player, and it's what I tell the Bucs fans they should do. Go get you guys in the secondary. And the Chargers are loaded up with the secondary, but there's no linebackers. You can throw all day on them. There's one guy that's present always up front in Khalil Mack. Joey Bosa, when he's there, is he's kind of scary, but he gets hurt. So
he's not his brother.
Yeah, he's not his brother. That's for sure.
They actually ranked 19th in defense and 19th in offense, so they're like right in the middle. That's what I'm saying. They're just in purgatory.
They're literally purgatory.
Yeah, they're just fucked.
That's rough. All right. Well, for me, I don't know what they can do. They're in a situation in which they kind of need to, like, not necessarily tear it down, but like they've got to do something. They got to do something kind of drastic, because literally they're in a division with Patrick Mahomes, so you already got to deal with that. the Broncos have figured it out, and I don't know what's going to happen with the Raiders, but they're still there, right? So it's just one of those, and the AFC is tough. So it's, to me, they got to do something kind of drastic. Trade up in the draft and go get something that, I don't know, go do something crazy. I don't know, whatever they got to do, they got to go do it. But I don't want to spend all day talking about the Chargers. I do want to talk about C.J. Stroud's concussion. Nico Collins got hurt a week prior. Tank Dell got hurt. So our sweetheart, darling Texans are kind of teetering a little bit, Vic. So I'm gonna start with you on this one. I think C.J. Stroud is still in concussion protocol. And they're right on the cusp of making the playoffs. The Jags are slipping as well, so it's like they can really go win the division. So there's a lot for them to keep playing for. But I mean, what do the Texans need to do outside of just get healthy, or is there no hope if C.J. Stroud's not healthy?
Well, I guess C.J. Stroud, so he didn't practice today, right? So it's not looking good for him playing, which hurts me because I have him on one of my fantasy teams. Actually, it's a dynasty league too, which is great. But I'm trying to find the latest today on Nico Collins.
Because even once CJ was healthy, all he had was Nico Collins, and then when Nico Collins went down,
Tank Dell.
Tank Dell's is out for the year.
Oh shit, he got hurt too.
Last week I think he broke his fibula or something like that in his leg. So after Nico Collins, it's like, who they got? Noah Brown.
You want my fantasy picks for both of these teams, like who you should be targeting if you don't have them, is definitely tight ends. Get you the tight end, because that's a blank. If you don't have Schultz, get Schultz. And then for the Chargers, that motherfucker is 6'8". Get Donald Parham, man. That motherfucker is 6'8". So
who's the backup quarterback for the Chargers?
I think some guy named Stick or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's like if I had to pick, so I have C.J. Stroud as well. For my team, the one out of my three teams that made the playoffs, but I also have Trevor Lawrence, so I'll be able to swap that pretty easily. I did pick up Noah Brown, but I don't know what to do with that because I don't know if he's even going to get the ball. Because who was what was the backup's name? David Mills. Who was he good with last year? Like
the Texans.
Yeah, but who was he good with? Like, who was he getting the ball to? Because he wasn't the worst quarterback out of the rookies.
It was Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks ain't there no more.
They don't have that luxury. So yeah, Dalton Schultz.
Robert Woods might show up. You never know. Could be a Robert Woods type thing.
Would you put your fantasy playoff hopes on that?
Hey,
if you need a flex spot.
I got a bye this week, so nah.
Excuse me,
I'm good.
Excuse me. I don't know. I'd probably leave that shit alone personally. But,
I would. That division scares me all the time. Like anybody can leapfrog anybody on that team.
It's the South, bro. Both the NFC and the AFC South. There's something in the water, bro, that's not working well for him. So, all right.
Yeah, it looks like he's doubtful. Collins, questionable still, and I think they got Stroud at questionable as well. So we'll see. Neither practice today, but they're fucked if they don't have them.
Yeah.
Stroud at least. They can get past not having Collins, but Stroud that's a no brainer. They need him.
All right, moving on. Minnesota. We got to change our quarterback with Joshua Dobbs. They went on to Mullins, and then Justin Jefferson got hurt again, but they say he should be playing this week. So another banged up Justin Jefferson and not having his best year, obviously, with all the injuries. There's no way you're not starting Justin Jefferson if you have him, right, in fantasy?
Yeah, 100%.
Even with Mullins as the quarterback?
Mullins really isn't that bad.
Yeah, I don't care if it's a milkman. I'm gonna start Justin Jefferson.
So now for real football, for them obviously making a playoff push, are they still okay? Or because I don't know. First of all, I don't know how they won this many games this year. Like that team to me is the most resilient team I've watched in the last 2 years of football. They don't make any sense how they win games. So is there anything that we can kind of trust with that team moving forward, even with all the shit that they got going on?
The defense is good. The defense is solid.
It's all right, yeah.
It's solid.
Yeah, I just I just think the NFC North is also kind of scrappy too. It's like one of those leagues like we were praising the Lions. We're gonna get to them in a bit too. I
Ooh, I
know.
can't wait to get to them.
Yeah,
You're right.
but it's like tooth and nail. Like when the Bears roll out there and they play against an opponent in the division, they show out. They win somehow. And when we're praising the Packers, they're losing games, and then out of nowhere they start finding ways to win, and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs and they beat the Lions, and it's a scrappy division. So I feel like the Vikings, they have the talent there. I know that the quarterback went down in Kirk Cousins, but when the pastronaut was there, he was doing good. And Nick Mullins, I know he's played some games with San Francisco, and he's looked good in like one or two games, and then they took him back and put him as the backup. And he did it in Minnesota too. He's serviceable. He's not a guy that I trust that'll get him far, but I think he's been in the right systems where he knows not to fuck up. So
Cool.
tight end in that game too. If you got Hawkinson, start him.
For real. Last but not least, Miami Dolphins. They had a stinker on Monday Night Football.
Vic made me a believer, man. They ain't it.
Vic,
I still
is
think
this team dangerous and good or what? Because like I don't know what the hell to make of that team right now. Like that's the one team that I can't
everybody always has a stinker, right? I mean, your Eagles just went through it, right? So
we lost to the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. We didn't lose after being up 14 points, 3 minutes to go to the Tennessee Titans.
yeah, but I mean, still, it's just it is what it is. I'll be honest, I didn't watch a lick of that game, but I will say that I still believe in the team. Every once in a while, and it was a Monday night. Tyreek Hill got banged up during the game. I know he came back in, but he didn't look like himself. I think he's so important to that team and what he can do to defenses. And I'm sure this sounds like an old cliche, but he can take the top off that defense.
He sure can.
Opens a lot of underneath stuff for guys like Waddle, and even the running backs, who I'm sure we're going to talk about because I think one got hurt as well. But
the A-Chain's a little hurt, banged up too.
Every week,
the offensive line's a little banged up right now. It's a lot of shit going on right now with that.
Yeah, I think they're going to be all right though. I think Tyreek Hill didn't practice today, but I think he'll be back in time for the game on Sunday. So I at least my fantasy team hopes so. If I don't have them, look for if you're like a 10-team league or a 12-team league, look for like guys like Jerry Jeudy or some guy that you think that is going to be able to snag a touchdown out of nowhere, because I feel like Jerry Jeudy's due, right? He had one called back this last week.
He's due, but Cortland Sutton's money with Cortland Sutton
is a dog right now.
He'll get 2 receptions for like 80 yards and a touchdown somehow and get you at least.
But he's not going to be available in your league. You got to try and find somebody on like the low end.
I know.
I mean, the fact that Jerry Jeudy Jerry Jeudy is still available right now for me, and the fact that he's available is like crazy to me. I should pick him up. I'm gonna pick him up right now. And
if you want a low end receiver, the one I'm saying is Dobbs, because he's targeted in the red zone a lot. Whether he gets you at least 7 points, like there's at least 7 for you right there from a receiver.
Yeah, but like Judy's playing Detroit, who's been suspect as of late. Noah Brown's playing Tennessee. I'm about to cut Noah Brown at drop.
Who the hell is Dobbs?
Romeo Dobbs.
Dobbs from Green Bay. But yeah, long story short, with me for the Dolphins, not feeling it. Like I see too much of this roller coaster shit, and their best hope of doing anything in the playoffs is getting home field advantage. And you can't be losing games like this if you want home field advantage. You cannot lose games like that, up 14 with 3 minutes to go, and expect to do anything in the playoffs, because you got to go travel to Baltimore's cold ass or Buffalo's cold ass or Kansas City's cold ass. You ain't going to survive, bro. You're not going to survive. So that's a really bad loss, and the injuries are not going to help. But the nightmares are over. We're going to play a little game of buy or sell with a little bit more NFL talk. Buy or sell. I'm going to start with you, A-Rod. The Giants should ride the DeVito train till next year.
You mean Tommy Cutlets?
Tommy Cutlets like Brock Purdy? They should get rid of Daniel Jones, and start DeVito.
I'm gonna say buy it. Because there seems to be a lot of uptick and a lot of I don't know. The team looks a lot different now than when Daniel Jones was there. It looked lost on play calling. Guys weren't happy with their roles on offense, but I see guys stepping up and doing their thing, and I'm not saying it's cause of DeVito, but there's a lot of excitement with him there, him being an Italian American and living 15
His
minutes.
agent with the hat, looking
Yeah.
cool as hell on the sideline.
Yeah. I like the guy. I think he can. I don't think he's the answer, but I think for like the short term, yeah, I think that's it. Or at least
So
keep him as a backup. Keep him as a backup, and when Daniel Jones fucks up, because you paid him all that money, you're gonna have to play him.
Yeah.
Something happens, then we reevaluate and we throw in Tommy Cutlets and see what he does then.
So what would you do? Obviously, they gave the money to Daniel Jones. I go to you, Vic. I mean, what would you do with Daniel? First of all, are you buying or selling?
No, I'm selling that. It's nonsense.
You're selling? All right. So why are you selling?
Because he threw for 158 yards. I mean, we're talking about him like he came in like he was who was that guy from New York last year that went to USF? What was that guy's name?
Oh, Mike White.
Like what?
Yeah, Mike White. You guys talking about like he's like it's like he ain't like it's like Jeremy Lin all over again. People are going nuts over this guy for no reason, just because he's Italian American. With Jeremy Lin because he's Asian.
3-game winning streak.
Hey, that's great. That's good for you. But yeah, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it at all. He might be a good chemistry guy, good locker room guy, but look at those 3 wins: Washington Commanders, New England Patriots. And yes, they beat Green Bay away, but again, Monday nights are weird, just like Thursdays. I don't buy it at all.
I like him as a backup at best.
I think if you bet the underdog on like 11 straight Monday Night Footballs, you'd be up. Like if you bet, like, I forgot how much they said, you'd be up like $250,000.
Oh, and if you bet the under on Thursday Night Football, you'd be up a lot of money as well.
That's not true, because I bet the under this past Thursday for the Steelers and Pats, and I got screwed.
That's one you don't want to touch because the over under was probably 20.
It was 31.5. 31
yeah, that's so low.
I was pissed off, bro. I was like, there's no way these two can't score, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, so if you're getting rid of you're starting Jones and you're starting DeVito, so what do you do with the opposite quarterback? Do you trade him and get value, or do you make them compete for the job?
What kind of value does Tommy DeVito have right now? Let's be honest. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo only got like a 3rd-round pick for him.
I'm starting Daniel Jones still. I'm keeping Danny DeVito. Here we go. I'm keeping Tommy DeVito just to show like, hey, this guy did something a couple games last year. So,
I mean, Brock Purdy was the last pick. Brock Purdy was the last pick. Now he's a top runner for MVP. I mean, shit. You want to build around a contract? You build around this undrafted rookie.
Yeah, but Brock Purdy's Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that's different though. The 49ers have an excellent defense. The Giants, it's just like pieces.
And Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah,
and Saquon Barkley.
The Giants defense and offense looks like Kevin Durant's hairline is what it looks like, basically.
Well, when you got money to spend, now you can go build up on all that shit that you want. I'm just saying, all right, whatever. You're right. Both of you are right. Me personally, I'm happy with either way because there's no way I should fear Daniel Jones or Tommy DeVito. But the way the Eagles been playing lately, I don't know. All right, next. Buy or sell. I'm going to start with you, Vic. The Buffalo Bills will make the playoffs and at least make it past the wild card.
Buffalo Bills will make the playoffs and make it past the wild card. I'm buying that. Make it past the wild card. I'm buying that.
Okay. What's your first of all? Let's talk about that Chiefs game real quick. Obviously, some controversy at the end, and Mahomes was crying like a baby, and
bullshit.
But I'll take that part out of it or add it to it. Like, what was your overall perception of the game? Because obviously, when the Bills and the Chiefs play, all their games are going to come down to some type of moment. So, what was your perception of the football game?
It was a good game. But it really soured me on Patrick Mahomes. I always thought he was like the chill one in his family.
He apologized.
Give me a break. Apologize, these nuts.
Nah, come on, man.
No, dude, fuck that. He's such a sore loser. What a bitch move. And the fact that he went up to Josh, I mean, I get it if you would have talked to the ref, but the fact that he was bitching about it to Josh Allen was ridiculous. I mean, shut up, dude. You know,
I was disappointed about that part. That particular part, don't take it out on Josh Allen.
Just say, hey man, good games, and move on. But yeah, no, my perception of it is, it is what they are what we thought they were. The Bills can hang around with any team in the NFL. They are that good, but the problem with them is consistency. Are they going to be consistent enough to be able to win a certain number of games in a row? And so far, that has not been the case. Now, do they make the playoffs? It's going to be close. Right now, there's
Cowboys, Chargers, Patriots, and Dolphins.
Yeah, so they got a long way to go, but they still have a chance, right? Right now, they're sitting 11th, so they would need to jump the Bengals, the Broncos, and the Texans, and then either the Colts or the Steelers. So,
which is not out of the question, but they've obviously, dug themselves a little bit of a hole. But a lot of these teams, they should be thanking the Patriots for beating the Steelers. They should be thanking the Colts for losing, the Texans for losing. Like all the teams that they needed to at least, lose or get close to losing. They're keeping them around. They're keeping them afloat. So that's definitely positive. But what do you think, A-Rod?
I'm buying.
And talk about Mahomes too when you finish. But
yeah, I'm buying. They can hang. Like Vic just said, it's consistency,
and win a wild card game too.
Yeah, I think they could. They definitely have the team to do it. I think they're underachieving. But I just think that they'd make too many bonehead plays, and that affects the outcome of the game. And with Patrick Mahomes, I was upset about it. I felt like it was a sore loser type move on his behalf. But the game before, Valdez-Scantling got hosed on a call on a big pass interference.
Correct.
And then that game, there was another instance where something happened as well.
So my question to you is, did he have a point?
He does, but it's just like, it's your job, man. And it's going to make people look at you differently because, one, you're a biracial, half black, half white man, and they're going to see you now as an angry, half black, half white man.
No. Now he's just an angry black man now.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll pick and choose when he's what.
Exactly, because he's quiet and has that Kermit the Frog voice and all that bullshit, and everyone's going to judge you based on that. It wasn't his character, and I'm happy he apologized. I can give him that. I can give him the apology. I get it. You got so much adrenaline running through your body. It was such a sweet play. We thought, wow, the Chiefs won, and then they called offsides on that. So it's unfortunate, but I think Patrick Mahomes is the kind of guy that he's not going to make the same mistakes over again, and he's not one person make the media be his enemy. He's marketable. He's likable. So he knows where he does wrong and he can fess up to it. Obviously, he just doesn't know how to choose a wife. That's the only thing. But I mean, leave
Brittany alone. But no, do you think
leave Brittany alone?
Do you think that's funny? Do you think there's a lot? I mean, this season for the Chiefs has been pretty unprecedented. It's been a lot of media coverage for things outside of just the game on the field. You got the Taylor Swift thing. Kelsey's popularity has shot through a cannon. Now we got Mahomes banging his helmet everywhere and, pulling, Bush League kind of stuff. It's been a lot of just noise and distraction. You got the receivers dropping everything. Kadarius Toney lining up off. It's been a lot, right? Do you think
Kadarius Toney?
They got to, but is it just a Toney problem?
No,
there's a lot. To me, there's a lot of just the water's not settled the way I see the Chiefs. I mean, am I off? Because I'm feeling a little because last year they won the Super Bowl and it was cool, whatever, right? But now it's luckily their schedule is Patriots, Raiders, Bengals, Chargers. So they should be fine. But, the water is a little, I don't know. What do you think on that?
It is, but it's also, I look at them the same way as the Bills. Can they get in and win, a playoff game? Yeah, I absolutely think they can. Once they make the playoffs, it's a different season. I think they can strike fear and they can get back to the Super Bowl, no problem. I just think that next year, one, Rashay, or what's his name? Rice? What's his name?
Rashee Rice. Yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good.
I know he fumbled the ball, but it's his first year. But he's looking like the number one wide receiver for him to throw to, and that's good. You may have found that, or maybe he may be your two, and you go get a guy like a Devontae Adams or something like that if you can afford him. I just think that. I think Kadarius Toney is very juvenile, and I think that his head is not in the game a lot, because I can think of like 3 or 4 plays that have cost them touchdowns or possessions or even the game.
No, literally games.
Literally.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's up with him. I'm not putting it all on him. Obviously, all the receivers have hands of stone this year. It's insane to see that. Valdez-Scantling, I just think he's too fast for his own good sometimes, and he'll either overrun it or he doesn't get to it fast enough. And there's something there. You're not wrong with that. I just think that at any time it was kind of like when they started off slow last year, and we were saying, are they done? Is this the end of the dynasty? Until I see it, I can't rule them out. And I got to see it happen for that to go on, but they still scare me in the playoffs. So
can't wait to get to the NBA, guys, because we got some Draymond Green news for y'all. All right, really quickly, by yourself, the Broncos have all the tools to make a surprising run. A-Rod.
Do they have the tools to make a run?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like they are missing pieces on the defense, but the defense has actually been playing very, very well. So I will give them that. I think Russell Wilson needed his quarterback whisperer in what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. What's the head coach's name? Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton, being the quarterback whisperer has turned Russell Wilson's career from what we were thinking. We were saying, oh, this guy's done. I think he still has it, and he has a great receiving core. He has a really good receiving core when he's throwing to them or whoever he's throwing to.
So they're young. You buying? It sounds like you're buying.
I'm buying. I like what they're doing. I think next year they'll be set up, and I hope, because every year I say this about one team and I start getting on it, they go a completely different way.
Like your Colts.
Yeah, I'm done. When I'm done with them, they start doing good, right? So, but I think they're on the right. They're trending in the right direction. They're making the right moves. They're making the right plays. They look good. So,
hey yo, Vic, you buy or sell? The Broncos have the tools to make a run now.
I'm sorry for the silence for the podcast listeners, but I'm really in deep thought right here. I mean, they have the quarterback. They have Russell Wilson. Like A-Rod said, they have the coach, Sean Payton. They have the wide receivers.
Yep.
Now,
think about the 06, what is it, 07 Giants, right?
Yeah, okay, we got it. Okay, we got it. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I'm not a Giant fan by any means, obviously.
But they had to ruin a fucking perfect season.
They had the tools and they pulled it off. I look at this. Do you look at this Broncos team as having that specific set of skills like that of the Giants of the 07?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, the playoff picture, yes. Do they have the skills to answer your question? Yes. I think they have that same kind of mentality. It's like the and we've seen it in other sports too, in baseball. Since you want to talk about the Giants beating the Patriots in 07, I'll just bring up the Red Sox World Series in, what was it, 2012? The beard team, all the guys with the beards, Mike Napoli, and all those guys. Yeah, that was the same kind of thing where it's just a group of dudes playing. There's not necessarily a star, even though you do have Russell Wilson and Sean Payton there. There's no standout guys. They haven't been a juggernaut for all this time. But if you look at the playoff picture, I mean, they're not that far behind the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Chiefs are in the West. So they have the Chiefs ahead of them, and that's it in the West. So they can still capture the division, not just the wild card. That's a possibility.
And their schedule got the Lions, the Pats, the Chargers, and the Raiders. So
That sounds very
That
doable.
sounds very promising.
And if you hold on, let me look at the strength of schedule for the Kansas City Chiefs, because that's really what if they win out.
Their schedule's pretty cake. This should be fine.
It's easy. It's easy going.
Well, that's a bummer.
If they win out, I mean, that's a wild card spot, and that's where the Giants came from. So, hey,
do they have to? If they win out, because what was their schedule? What did you say their schedule was again?
At the Lions Saturday night, home for the Patriots, home for the Chargers, and at the Raiders.
Well, right now they would need the Colts to lose. Well, because the Colts are playing the Steelers, so perfect.
Yeah,
you get in there. That's how you get in.
That's 7. They're both 7-6, right?
Yeah, they're both 7-6. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
they just need to get ahead of the Texans. So
it smells good to me. I think that defense, like you were talking about, like that defense can really do something. Cortland Sutton has been great. Javonte Williams is getting his legs back. He seems confident again.
Yes.
And Russell Wilson, he's not doing anything to make them lose. Like he's it's kind of weird to call him a game manager right now because he's the career that he's had, but
he's in that point.
He's at that point, but he's playing that role really well. And Sean Payton, we got to give him his credit, man. The dude's an amazing coach, and the turnaround that they had in Denver has been fantastic. So I'm buying that one. I'm
really unexpected too.
Yeah,
really unexpected.
And the AFC, honestly, is like it's winnable. It's for anybody because like Baltimore is good, but it's not like Baltimore is a juggernaut. Like they're really not. They have an amazing quarterback and great ancillary pieces, but they're beatable, right? The Chiefs are beatable. I mean, who else is there? There's no other team. The Bills are beatable. There's nobody that's Jags.
Everyone's beatable.
Literally.
Everybody's beatable.
Yeah. So this since Joe Burrow got hurt, I agree. But I mean, I thought the Dolphins were going to be there for a second, and I'm still not sleeping on them. But I think that's the team to beat in the AFC East.
Okay, we're gonna see. All right, and then the Lions are who we thought they were. A-Rod, you buying or selling? Are they the same old Lions, or have they?
I'm selling. They just can't get home field advantage. That's the only thing they can't do because you nailed this like a year and a half ago when you said Jared Goff can't play in the dome. Like he can't.
No, that's all he can do is the dome. Anything outside the dome?
He can't play in the dome. He just lost last week in the dome.
He can't play, period. That's what it is.
He's good. He's like fifth in the league in yards. So I can't take that away from him. I'm not putting it on him. I think the defense is still missing pieces. I like the Lions. I just think they lose some unfortunate games, and they're new to winning. They still got a winning record, so we can't hold that against them. I'm still rocking with them. I want them to do good. I don't want to root against them. So
it's not rooting against, but are they the same old Lions?
No, the same old Lions would be up won 2 games this year. So
absolutely.
Matthew Stafford had them looking pretty solid for a couple years as well, and they didn't do anything with that.
They did.
They fired Mike. They fired what was it? Singletary? Not Singletary. Jeff Caldwell, whatever his name was. Caldwell. After they had a winning season, so it's like same old Lions or.
No, I don't think so. I think Dan Campbell brings something that's special to that team, and I like where they're going. Just get to the playoffs and let's see what happens. I mean, they haven't been in the playoffs in God knows how long, so that to me right there is a win right there. You get to the playoffs, and then you start to figure out what you need. And they've been drafting very, very well. They've been getting the right pieces, putting it in there. I didn't think the Montgomery thing. I mean, I thought it was going to work, but I didn't think it was going to be this good.
Oh, no, shit, that surprised me. That one surprised me. That one definitely surprised me. Vic, same old Lions?
No, definitely not the same old Lions. This is the third best defense in the NFL. I really like their chances to make the playoffs. I'm kind of bummed that they can't get home field. Right now they have home field, right?
No, not advantage. I mean, there's
for the wild card. I mean,
they're only one spot below the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the 49ers at 9-4 to our 10-3s. But let's be real, like
they're not gonna get. I just want them to get one home playoff game.
They will.
I think that'd be
awesome.
If
you win your division, no matter what, you get a home playoff. I mean, even the Bucks have a chance to get a home playoff game, and the South has been atrocious. So. Yeah, they'll get a home playoff game.
Yeah, I just want them to get one home playoff game. I mean, that'd be the best. and I don't think they have any competition there in the North other than the Packers, who are at this point what 4 games behind them, 3 games behind them.
That last loss, that loss on Monday Night Football was just
yeah, but it's starting to look like we're going to get an under 500 team in the wild card slot for the for the NFC. So that's kind of a bummer. But I definitely think that the Lions are a good team. They're not the same old Lions. Unfortunately, they're just in a really good conference. If they were in the AFC, we'd be talking about them like we're talking about the Dolphins. And unfortunately, they're not. So they're probably going to get taken down a peg. But maybe they'll make the divisional round. But other than that, not looking. Definitely not the same old Giants, but not looking great for their Super Bowl chances.
Hey, Ross, you a little bit of skepticism about the NFC. The NFC is pretty top heavy.
Dude, they got the Niners, the Cowboys, the Eagles. Like those top 3 are better than any other team in the AFC right now.
This is true.
Except the Ravens.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can see. All right. Last but not least, before we get to our pick'ems, finally, the AFC North, who I've been a huge fan of, are all down to kind of borderline kind of quarterbacks, right? To try to compete with Lamar Jackson for that top spot. But who would you rather have in your foxhole for the rest of the season? So this is a little bit more than buy or sell. This is we'll do pay tag cut on this one. Joe Flacco, for the rest of the season, we got 4 games left. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Jake Browning. I'm going to start with you, A-Rod. Who's in your foxhole? Who are you buying in your foxhole? Who are you benching in your foxhole? Who you say no mas?
Man, this is tough. They all.
Because one of those teams are going to make the playoffs. This is going to happen. So
I'm starting Joe Flacco. I am benching Kenny Pickett, and I'm cutting Browning. As exciting as Browning has been.
You're cutting Browning. Can I get an explanation, please?
I just don't. I don't know. I like the guy. It's a weird 3. I give Joe Flacco the upper hand because he is a Super Bowl winner. And he came in his second game and won, and he looked like he hasn't played all year. He wasn't on a team, and he came in and he looked really good doing it. And Kenny Pickett, I just can't root against Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin finds a way to win. And then Jake Browning, just not a lot of shelf life with that. That's just my only thing. Just not a lot of shelf life.
Mike Tomlin has found a way to lose to the Arizona Cardinals and the New England Patriots in back-to-back weeks.
It's true.
We still buying Kenny Pickett?
I'm still buying Kenny Pickett. There's a rumbling with George Pickens in the locker room, and I think if you have him on your fantasy team, you're starting him, I think you need to bench him because I think Mike Tomlinson is noticing it, and he's the kind of guy that punishes his players who act childish or do anything like that. So
what are you talking about? He had Antonio Brown on his team. He had that other dude on his team.
Yo, Mike Tomlin's blood pressure over the last 10 years has to be crazy.
I feel bad for that guy.
It has to be crazy.
Yeah.
Vic, who you got?
I'm gonna go with my guy number 1, Jake Browning. I remember him at Washington. I remember when he was a recruit in high school. He was like one of the best high school prospects in the nation. Yep. So those guys. I'm going with the basketball theory where you take the problem child in college, but he was like a 5-star recruit in high school. Just take a flyer on him. He's averaging about 9 yards per attempt, which is pretty good in his starts this year. Just this last game, 275 yards against Jacksonville, 354 yards, and then 227 against Pittsburgh in week 12. So I'm gonna definitely take Jake Browning. Do I get the offense? I get the offense with the person, right?
That's fine.
With the quarterback.
That's fine.
I'm gonna cut Joe Flacco, I think, because the body work isn't there for me this year. If this is Joe Flacco, 5 years ago, then yeah, sure. But I think I'm gonna rather pick it. There's still an inkling of me hoping that he turns out all right.
Me too.
And
I for one have not, and I really want to, but just I watched Kenny Pickett play, and I don't see it. Like I really want to see it. Like I watch Zach Wilson, and I see it sometimes. Like I can see that there's something there. I watch Kenny Pickett, and I don't know, man. It just doesn't.
What if I told you that he prior to that Patriots game he hadn't thrown an interception since week 5?
That's fine. That means he's not taking chances. They're running interceptions are like there's so many ways to look at interceptions because like interceptions means you're throwing the ball because you're throwing the ball. No matter what the coverage is, you might have 15 interceptions, but you might follow it up with 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. So it's like I don't know. To me, I look at the Steelers and they just look stagnant. Like it doesn't look like cohesive. And obviously they just fired their offensive coordinator, and people who were expecting them to just automatically just look way better because of that. No, it's still gonna be pretty trash because the same formula is still there, and there's a lot of that bad taste they had to get out of their mouth. And pause. And I don't know why I paused, but I'm gonna start Browning. But I like what he's doing, bro. I really do. Like I don't know if he can ever. He's never gonna replace Joe Burrow. Let's get that clear. But he's making do with that offense because the offense is obviously good. It's not like the weapons suck, right? Like you still hit T Higgins. Hopefully he's probably healthy now. We'll see about that. But Jamar Chase is still eating. Higgins is still is doing fine. Boyd's doing fine. They ran the ball effectively last week. So I take Browning and then Flacco. I'll let Flacco be on the bench because I like the veterans. I like the veteran leadership. To play in a division like the AFC North, you gotta have a little bit of backbone to you. You gotta have a little bit of moxie to you. And he did it before. He's done it before. He understands how to do it. He's come out of nowhere and won a Super Bowl before after a subpar regular season, superstar postseason, and got his ass paid and was at one point the highest paid player in the league, right? So I'll ride with that on the bench, but Pickett not feeling it. But let's move on. A-Rod, give us a quick recap of last week.
Vic won the week. 4 wins of the teams. You and I both had 2. Sammy had 1. So
Vic, how was your from a Vegas standpoint? How did you do last week?
I lost lots of shekels. I'm a broke man, and I'm once again asking for your financial support.
All right, hey, not JP Morgan, JJ Wentworth. If you have some gambling debt to your bookie, call JJ Wentworth. All right.
KK, you're up 5. I'm tied with you at 5. Vic's at 4, and Sammy's got 3. So we're tied.
Sammy's creeping up. Don't let him come back. He didn't send us his picks, did he?
Yeah, he did. I got him.
He did. All right, cool. All right, let's get to the games this week. Vic, do you have all the shit pulled up?
Yep, I'm good. I'm just looking at.
Let's go.
You sound like a game show host.
Let's start with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts. As I had it when I put this down, Indy minus 1.5, over under is 42.5. Vic, take it away.
All right. Hold on. Shit. I had to close some tabs.
Wow. Wow.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
What was the first game we're going with?
Pittsburgh and Indy.
All right.
So big matchup. Obviously, both teams vying for a playoff spot. Games at Indianapolis. Indianapolis is at minus 1.5, over under 42.5.
Well, right now the line is still 1.5 in favor of the Steelers. The Steelers this season are 7-6, facing off against the Colts, who are 8-5 against the spread. Both of those numbers are against the spread. The public's pretty even on this one. 50.6% think that the Steelers are going to cover, compared to 49.4%. Say that they are going to break even. If you had to, read the wrong thing. Actually, if you look at the cash, 78% of the cash, 46% of the tickets are on the Steelers to cover this weekend. I'm leaning towards Vegas. I'm leaning towards the sharps on this one. Give me the Steelers at Indy. Lock that in.
Would you take that money line or would you take that with the spread to cover?
Definitely take it. Definitely go. Well, let's look at the green line here. So it's 105 for the or 115 on the +1 for the Steelers. What's the odds we get here? So plus 108. You know, it's with the 1.5. It's almost worth just taking the Steelers on the money line.
Yeah. Okay.
In my opinion.
All right. I'll think about that one. A-Rod, what you got?
Oh man, it's hard to bet against Mike Tomlin. I'm gonna go Indy on this one though. I like what they're doing, the push that they're making now, and I know they're gonna let me down. I know it.
And that's why I'm picking the Steelers because you got bad juju on the on the Colts. So
I'll take it.
So Sammy got the Steelers as well.
Yes, Sammy has the Steelers.
All right, lone wolf. All right, moving on. Minnesota at Cincinnati. We got Cincinnati -3.5, over under 40.5. If you want to do money line stuff, they got -170 for Cincinnati, +140 for Minnesota. Take it away, Mr. Vic.
So we have a matchup of one team that's great against the spread, another team that's terrible against the spread. We have the Vikings 7-4-2 against the Bengals 6-7. Both those numbers are against the spread. As Kay said, it is still at +3 currently, but it looks like it opened at +3, so the line hasn't moved at all. You have 73% of the cash, 61% of the tickets on the Vikings on the road. I am going to go with the Vikings to win over the Bengals over pure necessity in a win or go home meeting.
A-Rod.
I'm gonna stick with Cincinnati on this one.
I as well will pick Cincinnati convincingly, actually. So
Vic, I'm
all in on Cincinnati for this one.
Yeah, that's strange because I love Cincinnati.
I'm surprised. Okay, all right. Another game of necessity for both the Broncos and the Detroit Lions. Detroit trying to keep their hope alive for possibly getting a top spot, and Denver is just trying to get into the dance. We got Denver at Detroit. Detroit's at -4.5 according to the Hard Rock Sportsbook. Over under at 47.5. Take it away, Vic.
All right, so we have the Broncos 5-7-1 against the spread. The Lions 8-5 against the spread this season. They are your spread darlings. You got 32% of the cash, 40% of the tickets on the Broncos this weekend. So the public likes the Lions. Give me the Lions at home against the Broncos as much as because here's the thing is I really wanted the Broncos. I really want to pick the Broncos for my narrative that they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I just don't see the Lions losing at home against a team that is almost there, but not there yet. So give me the Lions at home. I'm taking the spread on this one, boys. Maybe tossing it into a teaser.
Okay. A-Rod.
I'm sticking with my man Dan all day.
I'm gonna rock with y'all on this one. I'm gonna pick Detroit. I also want to go with Denver for the same exact reason for that narrative that I would love to see them in the playoffs and do some damage, but Detroit they need this victory a lot.
Interestingly enough, though, the Broncos money line, 95% of the cash, 58% of the tickets are on the Broncos money line. So maybe the sharps are seeing some value there.
Plus 170, yeah, I'll do that.
Sammy's the lone wolf here. He's going with Denver.
Ooh,
I'm gonna switch my pick. I'm gonna pick Denver.
Okay.
All right, that's fine. That's cool. I like that because I want some people to benefit from the Broncos if they win. So all right, good.
That cash really 94% of the cash on a money line for the underdog is a fuckload. So like we're gonna do a what's the guy's name? The guy needs to be what's going on in Denver.
What's going on in Denver?
Windhorse, yeah.
All right, cool. All right. This is a very fun, interesting one. We got the Dallas Cowboys at the Buffalo Bills. Dallas coming off of a very impressive thrashing of the Philadelphia Eagles, and Buffalo coming off of a very impressive beating of the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though sources said they could have lost that game, it had Kadarius Toney doing his job. But we got Buffalo at minus 1.5 at home, and then the over under at 50.5. Vic, what you got?
So currently, guys, we have the third ranked offense against the fourth ranked offense, the fourth best defense against the sixth best defense. The Cowboys are 9-4 against the spread. The Bills are 5-8 against the spread. Yikes. We got 94% of the cash and 68% of the tickets on the Buffalo Bills -2 at home against the Cowboys. With that being said, I'm going to take the Cowboys on the road to basically start the sinking ship of the Buffalo Bills.
Hey, Rod.
I like that. I really do. I just think, I don't know, I got a gut feeling that Dak hasn't had one of those games yet. And I feel like this is going to be one of those Dak games where we talk about where he shoots himself in the foot. I don't know why I got that gut feeling for some reason. So I'm going Buffalo on this one. And I don't want to pick either or, but
I like it. I'm going Buffalo, and that's my lock of the week. Let's go. Let's go, Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
That's my lock. All right. Last but not least, Baltimore Ravens at the desperate Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags need this victory. They really do. Because they got teams on their heels and they're reeling. So we got Baltimore minus 3.5 on the road. This is Sunday Night Football, mind you. So let's keep that in mind. Sunday Night Football, we got Baltimore minus 3.5. 42.5 is the over under. Mr. Vic, talk to me.
When was the last time, before I get started, when was the last time we had the Jags in Sunday Night Football?
Right? Hey, this is what we need, though. This is what we want.
All right.
We want to see guys like Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, this is it, boys. This is the Civil War. We got North versus South here. The 8-5 against the spread Ravens versus the 8-5 against the spread Jacksonville Jaguars. As you said, the Ravens are favored by 3. 81% of the cash, 71% of the tickets like the Ravens -3. And then if we're going to go money line here, 77% of the tickets, 96% of the cash are on the Ravens as well. I'm going to say if those Jaguars are desperate, they better get on their knees and start blowing the Ravens because they're not going to beat them in football. Give me the Ravens on the road.
That was beautifully done. Beautifully done. Hey, Ryan.
Great. It was great for TV, man. You definitely TV. I just need my restitution. That's all I need. So give me my rate.
So you got Baltimore. I got Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
I got Baltimore.
And Sammy had Dallas on the last one, so
traitor.
Terrible.
All right. We had some breaking news about 30 minutes ago while we were middle of recording. In case you did not know, and no, this is not an old episode. This is another Draymond Green episode of him back at it again with the elbows and shit. And the Yusuf Nurkic, I could not say it any better myself. That brother needs some help. That brother needs some help. Draymond Green has found himself indefinitely suspended. Did I read that right, Vic?
Yes, sir. Indefinitely.
Indefinitely suspended. And is A-Rod, is it true that he needs to get he needs help? He needs to go seek help for real?
Yeah. That's what the report says, that they're gonna issue him a therapist or whatever from the NBA or something like that.
What therapy does this man possibly need?
Definitely anger management.
All right. So first and foremost, let's talk about the play. It was the third quarter. First of all, Draymond Green, I had the over on his points, rebounds, and assists yesterday. And he got ejected in the third quarter. So you're on my shit list right now, Draymond. You really are. You need to go get that help that you really whatever help you need to go get that. But yeah, he was trying to sell a call. Apparently, and somehow he roundhouse punched like MMA shit. Yusuf Nurkic, poor Yusuf Nurkic, but Yusuf Nurkic has been getting the brunt of a lot of shit over his whole career, his whole career. So, yeah, so he got swung on. Yusuf Nurkic said he needs help, and now it looks like the NBA agrees. So, first and foremost, Vic, I know you talked about Draymond the last time about how you, and I know how you feel about him. He did apologize after the game this time, which he's not done. He doesn't normally do. What's your take on not the suspend on the action, and then do you think that this will help anything? The suspension, the mental health, whatever. Do you think this will help anything?
No.
Damn.
Let's be honest. This is it's just a guy. He's been wired like this his whole life. Unless he goes to freaking Nepal and studies as a Buddhist monk, he wouldn't have me believe in any of his bullshit. I mean, the way he came out and was just so smug. I don't usually apologize. Like, fuck you. And then saying that it was unintentional. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. You're an asshole. And everybody knows you're an asshole and you're just a bully. And that's what you do. It's probably what he's done his whole life. He was that fucking guy in all those teen movies in the 90s that was wearing his Letterman jacket, flicking kids' noses and shit, flipping over the nerds' lunch. That's Draymond Green.
I think he was the fat guy that was bullied and then finally grew into an athlete.
No. Draymond is from Saginaw, Michigan. He was not being bullied. He was bullying. He was bullying folks because you could just see it in his DNA. You can smell that shit from a mile away. But go ahead, Vic.
No, that's what I think. I think he should be suspended indefinitely. And on top of that, I think that I think he should be out the rest of the year. To be honest with you, I mean, 2 incidents like this, like in such close proximity to each other, is just ridiculous. And then it's just, the way he acts like he was trying to sell a foul. Like, what you were fucking doing, dude.
Yeah.
You knew what you're doing. Like, grow up. Be a man. Take your lumps and call it a day.
You're right.
Yeah, so it's counseling, not therapy that he has to get. So
okay.
I've always been okay with it, because that's just the type of player he is. But when it becomes too excessive, I think against Rudy Gobert, I think we all have like a vendetta against Rudy Gobert. I just think
for whatever reason, I didn't really care about that whatsoever.
And that's shitty of me to say, because he put that man in the full Nelson, and everyone who's liking that post of ours, KK gets the credit, man. We're at like 100 or 220,000 views on that, and I love it.
Holy crap!
But yeah, we're doing numbers. But with Nurkic, it's the guy you got to root for him because he can't get it right. We thought he was a big man in Denver, and then Jokic showed up, and we were like, who's this guy? And then look at what's become there.
And then he went to Portland.
Yeah, he went to Portland, yeah, and it was looking good with Dame, but he kept getting hurt. And I don't know, man. With Draymond, we've alluded to this numerous times, okay? Like, we know he's on the way out. We know he clearly doesn't give a shit. We know if you don't play by the rules that he has and that he knows the Warriors way, you're gone, and he'll expose you, i.e. Jordan Poole. I truly think all his teammates are afraid of him, and they don't want to start shit with him because they know what's going to happen.
Right, yeah, ass kick.
And the front office, they've got to be like in a nightmare all the time when this happens. How are we going to fix this? How are we going to replace this? Oh, it's again. But they're always resilient when it happens. They stick by this guy. They haven't given up on him. And they given him a new deal, 2 years ago? So he's still there. Yeah. So I think with Draymond, it's we have those bruiser type players in the NBA, and we know them for that. I just think Draymond is wanted to be known as that guy that's the most dastardly NBA player that we've ever seen touch the court, and he's going to do whatever it takes. And I wish him the best. I know when he gets on TV, he's going to be great. When he gets on there with the old heads, I just hope he doesn't swing on Charles. That's all I hope.
He's already an old head, which is crazy. He's already fit in with the rest of those old guys.
He's got great fucking beard, yeah.
Now, like, for me, the way I see it, it's like your history is your history, bro. You can't hide the facts. You can't hide the archives. I think he's like second right now as far as ejections. And he's somewhere in the top.
At number one spot, man. You know it.
He's somewhere. If he's in the league that long, like, man, honestly, for the league to go with the word indefinitely, they pissed. Now they're mad. Like, we dealt with DeMontis in the playoffs. We dealt with Rudy Gobert just a few weeks ago. This shit, bro, is just like, it's like we saw Jordan Poole. That video keeps being resurfaced over and over. And now you go pull this shit. Like, come on, Draymond. It's like, and he's one of those guys. I'm like, man, I want to love Draymond, but damn, why do you do what you do? Like, what brings you to the level of where your mind is at to do what you do, right? And I think the league they didn't really have a choice. Now, was John Morant, when he was suspended initially, was his indefinite and then they came out with a number, or like his the one that happened last year when it was like 8 games and they had to go to therapy in Florida or some shit like that? Because to me, this might be one of those situations in which it definitely really just means a few games, but they just need him to adhere to like what they need him to do. I just hope that he actually takes that shit seriously, because clearly it's like, and we look at the Warriors as a whole from a dynasty perspective, right? And to me, I'm about to be on some Max Kellerman shit, right? Andre Iguodala, him retiring, to me marked the true end of that dynasty, because to me, Andre Iguodala is the only person on that team that can talk to Draymond Green. Steve Kerr, Draymond don't care. Steph Curry, Draymond just happy to have his light-skinned brother on his team to win them championships. Klay Thompson is not the same Klay Thompson, and everybody else can shut the hell up. Apparently, if you're not any of those, you can shut the hell up. So to me, Iggy being gone is like, all right, well, if nobody can really talk to this man no more. So to me, it's a bad look for the NBA for him, Draymond, keep having to be involved in this type of shit. We had a successful weekend with the NBA in-season tournament. It was like the most watched regular season game since like Christmas 2018. Like, it's like we're doing, the NBA is doing the right things across the board. This is a black eye for the league, literally, for Nurkic and the league. So it's the right call. I just hope that he's truly getting the help that he needs. I don't think Draymond's a bad guy. I just think he's a loose cannon. And two things can be true. You would think that he, at his advanced age, he has kids, he's married, he has he has all the shit that he needs. He doesn't need to be pulling his bush league shit anymore. But your history is your history. So I can't feel bad for him. I just hope that whatever the help he needs, and the help that John Morant needs, and the help that all these players need that are actually going to therapy or whatever, I just hope that it's working. Because at the end of the day, it's like, what's the point? Like, what is the point of us investing this kind of money into you and then you do some shit like this?
So, they are who they thought they were.
I mean, literally, like, Dray. I mean, we can't be surprised with Draymond. Like, it's like he is who we think he is. Like, he's been like that since Michigan State. So, God bless him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll see how he does, and we'll see how long indefinitely really means. But for the Warriors' sake, it's over, bro. This. Like Bob Myers, he's doing ESPN right now for a reason. As soon as that shit happened, I was like, oh yeah, this is over for them. It's over for them. So we look at the landscape of the West, and we obviously know Denver is the cream of the crop, and we got some up and coming teams as well. But yeah, it's for the Warriors for long. Now that we know what we know, I mean, look at Klay. He's like a shell of himself now. Wiggins is not that good anymore. Chris Paul, I'm surprised he's in the league. It's just, it's over, right? So I think this is like the nail in the coffin. I think Draymond Green probably knows it's over too. I think that's probably why he's lashing out. Like when you don't have the same ability that you used to have, you kind of just lash out and just do dumb shit. So
I ain't gonna be here.
This is it. This is it, Warrior fans. This is it, Warrior fans. All right. Let's conclude on the end-season tournament, and I want to get a Shohei Ohtani real quick, and the hot stove. But end-season tournament, the Lakers won. First and foremost, I think it was a success. There's some things I would like them to fix, but ultimately, I think it was a success. But what were your biggest takeaways, Vic, from the NBA in-season tournament, as far as like maybe as a player, a team, the process itself? What was your biggest takeaway?
I feel like they didn't hype up the actual knockout stage as well as they should have.
Correct.
I don't think they did a great job explaining that. The last day of it, I think that the last day of the tournament, all the games should be scheduled that day.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing the last game of the tournament that day. But I thought it was really exciting. The last day was a lot of fun, I thought. So I enjoyed it. There's tweaks. Things need to be done to fix it. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. And I don't know that it meant anything, but that the Lakers won. I mean, I was a little upset. The Lakers won, but I wasn't like overly I wasn't like I was at the Celtics went to the finals and lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I thought it was good. I thought overall it was awesome.
And you think for sure this is something that they should bring back in the next year and
I'm a soccer fan. I'm a soccer fan. Of course I do. Yeah, 100%.
All right, A-Rod.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie. They're gonna bring it back. So I think, like you said, they didn't hype up the playoff really, the 4 in it.
Yeah, it just kind of happened.
Yeah, it really happened. I almost forgot and I had to turn it on and was like, oh shit. Yeah. And the floor, I wasn't a big fan of the floor. It was like color rush shit.
Going too much.
Get more creative with it. I didn't get that. That was just a little overkill for me. If anything, it looked like a 2K floor, like you make your own court and you make it the way you want. Yep. That's how I felt about it. Tyrese Halliburton is him, man. He's a good player. I'm not taking anything away from his game. I've been saying he's good. It's just hard when you put Jalen Brunson in there for me to not do that.
You're still stuck on that. You're still stuck on that.
I am because I didn't want to have to pick Brunson. If he would have picked anybody else, I would have put Halliburton on the bench for sure or tagged him.
I picked De'Aaron Fox over him, so.
Yeah, I'm consistent. I'm consistent still. So, and Anthony Davis, like, I don't get where he wants to. She's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like there's days he wants to show out and be dominant that we always say he is, and then it's almost like Kawhi Paul George-esque. Like it's like his rest day. Like I'll give 15 and 8 and 5 assists and maybe have a knee issue or something like that and go out. I don't know what it is with him. I think he's the diva of the NBA. I think he's very diva-esque in the way he carries himself and he plays, and when he wants all the lights on him. Like that game, he's gonna shine. One thing I want to talk about was the fat shaming of Zion Williamson too. That's wild. That's
actually gonna be one of my takeaways. I want to talk about Zion real quick. So go ahead, take it away. I
mean, that's another thing that I noticed because if the Lakers blew the doors off the Pelicans in that game.
Yeah, blew the doors.
And Zion's averaging like 20 something points a game. He's not playing bad. But there is concern with his weight. And I know Shaq and Chuck said something about it, about how they alluded to his weight, but Stephen A. Smith going on there and basically saying that everyone in New Orleans is waiting for him at the door to come eat at their restaurant. He'll eat the kitchen table. He'll do all of that. I know what he was trying to get to, but I just don't think it's the best way to say it because we all want to see Zion succeed, I think. I think all of us are in agreement that we want to see him succeed. I just don't think that's the best way for you to do it. But I don't know what if productivity is down, like if he's averaging like 6 points a game, maybe. But I just don't know. I don't get what the big gripe is over it because he looks serviceable to me. I mean, Robert Tractor Trailer was a flop.
The problem with him is he keeps getting hurt, and it's detrimental to his team that he keeps getting hurt. And he keeps getting hurt because he's out of shape, and he's jumping. He's doing these.
He's too athletic to be jumping the way he jumps.
Did he get hurt? Did he get hurt or something or?
Not. Yeah. I mean, he's been hurt in the past.
Yeah,
but I'm saying like as of now, has he been hurt?
Well, listen.
No.
Those two
this season.
His last two tournament games. Right. We're talking about the person that's supposed to take the mantle. They hyped this man up to be that guy, right? Against the Sacramento Kings, he had 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. And against the Los Angeles Lakers, who a younger team, who they had 13 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. The dude has gone over double-digit rebounds twice this season, right? Charles Barkley is shorter than Zion. and came in with the same frame, but actually worked out. And they called him the round mound of rebound because he would go get you 20 plus and 12, right? Every single game because he put in effort. I watched Zion, and again, I'm not fat shaming or nothing, but like the effort is not there. He's clearly out of shape. He's clearly out of breath. Obviously, like I know you can dunk and put it under your legs and throw it under your back or whatever. That's cool, but like that's not winning you basketball games, and that's what's going to hold back this. No, the Pelicans have so much going for them talent wise. To me, they should be a really, really good basketball team if Zion Williamson could just get his shit together. And to me, he's doing his team a disservice not being able to just take his health seriously. Like the fact that they keep rolling these reports out, it's like clearly there's a reason why.
Actually, and he was out today, by the way, for with his ankle.
See,
so he did not play.
That's the problem,
today.
And it's like.
Go ahead, Kiki, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You're right. Go ahead.
No, well, I was as the resident fat guy on the podcast. I will say that I am totally okay with fat shaming. Go ahead, fat shame. He's a professional athlete. You should fat shame me. Let me know. I'm lazy. That's why I'm fat. What's his excuse? He gets paid to do this. If I got paid to be in the gym, I'd be fucking ripped. All right, and that's what he gets paid for.
200
that's
plus
insanity. This is his profession. This is his job. If he does not like to do it, you could be Jokic, right? Jokic necessarily isn't in the best shape of his life, but he's not. He doesn't rely on his athleticism.
Jokic got into the league a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
He came back one summer. He came back one summer. I was like, holy shit! Like the dude was in shape, and you could see his game improved immensely.
100%.
Giannis used to be a stick figure, and now he's an Adonis.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm talking about. These guys, and let's be honest, Jokic probably his passion isn't basketball; it's his job, and he wants to be good at his job. So what does he do? He, got skinnier. He lost weight. Zion needs to do the same thing. This just tells me that he's unserious about the game, and he's actually starting to pattern a lot of the big busts that we've had in the future, in the past. Pause.
I don't think he wants to be there either. I really don't think he wants to be there.
That could be part of the problem. That could, he needs to be probably like in a better organization overall. Like maybe the Miami Heat, because they force you to be in shape, would be a good fit for him. But
then don't sign the contract. That's my biggest issue with these guys is they sign these contracts, they get so upset, and they're like, no, I want out. Like Dame did the same thing. If you don't want to be there, get the hell out. Sign a contract somewhere else. Put up or shut up. Don't just go there. I get it. You want the money.
That's the problem. It's like he's 22, 23 years old.
That's the way I view it. Like imagine if you're 22 and you're just like, I don't want to be here, but it's a lot of money, and then Dame was just loyal. And I'm sure he was like, I want to stay here, I want to win, but when they couldn't do it, he was just like, I want out now. I got no beef with what Dame did. But with Zion, I look at it as like, I just think he's very immature. I think he's very mature, like getting caught with the porn stars and he loves anime. I'm not calling that juvenile or anything like that, but the way he proceeds or goes to the podium, it's just very juvenile and not very jovial, or he doesn't look like he wants to be there. He does not look like he wants to be there.
He just looks like a bad team, good stats guy. You know what I mean? He has that aura about him.
But that's what I'm scared about.
He's not a winner.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared about him for. Because like the talent is obviously there, and I don't want him to waste his talent because he simply can't just commit himself to just doing, just being a professional. Like at the end of the day, you do what you want to do during the summer, go have fun, go hang out with your baby mamas and all that shit. But like when you're called to duty, you just do your job, bro. That's all the Pelicans want you to do is your job. Like you're the number 1 overall pick. You're a max player. You've been an all-star. Just do your job. And I think if he does his job, the Pelicans could be a lot better off. But we'll see how it goes. But to me was a big takeaway. Obviously, Halliburton had a very good tournament. I think LeBron James is showing that age is just a number. AD is he could be the best player in the league, and he could also be the worst player in the league. It's just all that. But I think the tournament,
Mr. Hyde.
I think the tournament definitely showed a lot. They're gonna make improvements. I was a fan. But before we sign off, A-Rod, the floor is yours. You got the Dodgers hat on. Shohei Ohtani, 7. And I found this out at my wedding. I was like, I looked at my phone. I said, 10 years, $700 million. What the hell? And then I found out a couple days later that the deferred contract and all that shit. So, A-Rod, talk to the baseball fans out there.
And you know who sat next to me at your wedding? Nick Cullen. I felt so bad. I felt so bad.
Because he talked to me about it. He was like, yeah.
I didn't even mention it. I didn't even mention it. I was like, I'm not gonna kick you when you're down. I'm not that.
That's tough. Yeah.
Tough. I mean, it was down to 3 teams. It was really down to 3 teams. I know it was the Angels, the Dodgers, and the Blue Jays supposedly. The Giants were the Giants were shooing, but he didn't want to go there. I don't think.
Oh, okay. They offered him like a similar contract. I heard something.
They offered a similar contract, but that's not where he wanted to go.
Okay.
He wanted to stay in LA. He wanted to give the Angels a chance to be a contender. The Blue Jays, I don't know how they get money or what they do to how they can't win with their roster. Like, how much more do you need just to beat the Yankees? I'm just happy I don't have to see him here. We all know the Dodgers, they're just pulling money out of nowhere. It's like Wolf of Wall Street. Is this legal? Absolutely.
No, that's just not legal. And there's no way they approve that contract.
No, the way this contract is set up, it's like
he can opt out. If the executives that brought him in leave, he can opt out of his contract. That is how he can opt out.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's only getting paid. That's not the issue with it. The issue is that all these payments are deferred. So
he's getting paid $2 million a year for the next 10 years. That part to me is real crazy.
It's not legal. They're manipulating the tax threshold. It's just there's no way that the other owners will let. It just sets a bad precedent.
It does, and baseball doesn't have a salary cap, so it is what it is. I hate seeing. I mean, I'm a Yankees fan, and we like to go spend. I mean, we got Soto over the weekend too, which is nice. But where's the pitching? You know, he can't pitch, so. It's a great get for the Dodgers. I mean, they go and they get these big name contracts every year, and they put them on the field and have one World Series to show for it. Since the what was it, the 80s or 90s? I think it was the 90s is the last one that they won. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I like it I wanted him to stay in LA. I want him to be in a big market team. It's just like you said. It's setting a precedent. The owners are gonna have to talk about. We're going to need a salary cap because we can't compete with the Dodgers. We can't compete with the Yankees and the Rays.
No, it doesn't have a salary cap, but the issue is the way the contract's structured, it keeps the Dodgers under the tax threshold, which is a fucking hefty tax.
Yeah.
So I mean, baseball doesn't have a.
I think it says like $25 million or something like that they're saying from doing that.
Oh no, it's more than 25 million. It has to be more than 25 million.
Well, per year, something like that.
Oh yeah, per year. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's supposed to be your buffer. That's supposed to be your salary cap, right?
Yeah.
And if you're finding ways to circumvent that, I mean that's fucking cheating, in my opinion.
And they're still going after other players. They're trying to get the pitcher from Japan.
Yeah, Yamamoto, yeah.
If they pull that off. I mean, what are we looking at right now next year with the Dodgers?
It's gonna suck when you get MLB The Show and the entire team is diamond and you try and complete that roster. That's all I can say. There's gonna be it's gonna be a big topic. Is baseball even competitive anymore? Do people want this is kind of a reason why people don't want to watch baseball, because there's only a few teams that are very, very competitive, and they're competitive because they go out and buy a team. Basically, they go out and buy the players. But at the same time, the Dodgers grow great talent too. They bring up guys that are very talented players, and they're shipping them out. They're doing like what the Yankees were doing in a way.
And on the same token, the Arizona Diamondbacks and the who was the other team that played?
Texas Rangers.
Texas Rangers. That was your one team paid a lot of money to get them there, and Arizona did Arizona's way, right? So it's not like there's one better way than the other, because clearly. You see the Rays, you see the Dodgers, you see the Astros. Like there's so many different ways to quote unquote skin a cat. But to me, it's just how you manage your team. At the end of the day,
it's how you manage your team, and Moneyball, like I say all the time, Moneyball is going to win you games. It won't win you championships though.
Yeah.
But to these small market teams that that have a chance, like the Rays, if the Diamondbacks can replicate what they did, they got to pay to get some bats in there because that's their Achilles heel. We all know the Rays got the pitching. They bring guys out the woodworks we've never heard of, and they're lights out. But when it comes down to that middle of the bat lineup, they don't have it. They never do have it. They got one or two guys that are good, and then the rest of the guys get really cold, and that sucks. But back to the topic of Shohei Ohtani, it's big. It's really big for the Dodgers to get this guy, man. It's going to be insane. And in the first year, he's not going to pitch either. He's going to be DH only. So,
is he ever going to pitch again though? Because if he's not pitching anymore, that price tag is way too high.
Oh, I agree. I think he's getting paid that much because he's a dual threat. I don't think it's because I think it's going forward. They're going to pitch him, but I think they're going to have to be smart in the way that they do it. I honestly don't think the guy can pitch an entire season. I think that's his Achilles heel, is him doing too much for this team.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there, but it's crazy. And the largest North American contract, $700 million. That's wild. So what happens when the next guy comes up and wants to get paid?
Nobody's getting no, because there's only one him. There's only one Ohtani. No one's playing both sides of the ball like that at a dominant level. Obviously, he needs surgery, his arm and everything, but like no one has done that. So it's not like anyone's going to be able to get that. It's going to go back to, with Bryce Harper's and Aaron Judge's, like it's going to go back to that, more of that mold. But yeah,
hopefully. I hope so. But the Mets, look at them last year. How much did they spend? And they buy
and it didn't do shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's the point of spending that money? It's not going to do shit. Like, how you run your team is the most important thing. It's more than just is some analytics, some the player development, some like there's a lot of different avenues that are going to go into it. And then I was looking at like the odds right now for Yamamoto. The Mets are definitely all in. The Yankees are all in, and then I think they have the Dodgers as well as like the top three. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Red Sox brought him in too, and the Red Sox are looking at Blake Snell too.
Wow, Blake Snell. Wow.
Did he just win the Cy Young?
Cy Young. Don't be like that.
Yeah, he's not Shohei Ohtani, brother.
He's not, but there's only one Shohei Ohtani, and Brandon McKay with the Rays hat ain't going to be it either. So I mean, it's tough to replicate that. That guy doesn't win you championships. He hasn't won any here. He hasn't even made the playoffs or sniffed it yet. So we'll see.
Damn. Ridiculous. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. Like the stove is heating up. Not for me though, but the stove is heating up though. So that's all I got. Any last words this week, Vic?
No, I'm good. Just everybody stay safe out there. Have I don't know if we're gonna be back again for the. I guess we have one more show before the holiday, but have a great Hanukkah.
There we go.
God.
Any final thoughts?
I got nothing, man. I had a great time at your wedding. I wish I could do it all over again, man. I had a blast, man. I just wish I didn't get as hammered as I did, but hey, it was open bar and they were giving me doubles. So
my aunt came up to me. She was like, "Everyone seems to be having fun, but they're all really drunk." I was like, "Yep, damn right. That's how
it works.
We want everybody to have fun and make sure that's it, All right, and then for me, I don't have any last words, but A-Rod, where can they find us at though?
You can find us on X at fair_weatherpod.
X.
Damn, X. Formerly known as Twitter.
Formerly known as Twitter. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Search the Fair Weather Podcast. And wherever you subscribe or listen to podcasts, you can catch the audio there as well. You got words of wisdom or what?
First of all, look at the ring, dog. Boy, Mary. So at least Keys, you lost your chance. You lost your chance. But no, if you're still listening because you got to the end of the podcast, if you have any suggestions, any comments, anything like that, hit us up. Let us know. And let us know. You know what I mean? Like let's make this is your podcast. You know what I'm saying? Let's have some fun. Sammy should be back next week. So we'll make sure we get on his ass pause for his little party or whatever. But yeah, I'm married, bitch. Let's go.
Nice.
Peace.
Peace.